the Wednesday edition. The happy first day of OTAs to all who celebrate edition. It's like the Festivus of the holiday calendar. Are we going to finish these 5 questions from yesterday? What, we get 2 of them? Did we get 2 of them?
No, you got 3.
Well, leaves us 2 more to get to. Edition. And the scheduled to appear Bryan Bulaga, Uncle Homer. And then we leave you, at least on some of our forums, for Brewers Red Sox. Maybe Yelich can hit another walk-off grand slam.
Nice win last night. Nice win.
And we'll get into how you've motivated this team to new heights by calling for the manager's head edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need in the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free ESPN Wisconsin app, where you can listen to Matt LaFleur talk with us at the draft. You can catch up on shows you missed. You can find great interviews like we had from the Tellurian Celebrity Golf Tournament. Don Mikowski, Dorsey Levens, Bryce Paup, Robert Brooks. Everything you need on the ESPN Wisconsin app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, proudly wearing his NL Central Champs
2021 edition. Yeah, this one's been around a minute.
You look good. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I think we probably need to give Jesse a little love because the Brewers were floundering a little bit. And Jesse Nelson, producer of Wilde and Tausch, didn't say but said.
No, he said.
We should be having a conversation. And since that moment, Jesse, I'm sure you know the stats. What is the Brewers' record since you called for Pat Murphy's head?
I don't actually know the stats, but they do have a pair of 3-game winning streaks.
You don't know the stats.
I don't know the. I don't remember the exact. Well, I guess I do know. Okay, hang on. So I'll look it up.
Okay, well, Jesse does the math.
I'll give it to you in a minute.
I'm starting to wonder what when I text stuff, like if it even does it vanish? I don't understand the cloud. I've told you guys
it's written in invisible ink.
Does it sometimes vanish? When I send it, it vanishes.
No.
Anyways, last night was impressive.
The Brewers are 7-3 since Pablo's birthday bash. 7-3 since the birthday bash. When I first asked the group, do we need to have a conversation?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Can we instead? I don't want to be the Pablo's party pooper here, but instead of a outrageous claim that Jesse motivated Pat Murphy and the Brewers, can we just say that he was just wrong? Which is what we said in real time back then? Instead of giving him credit for a dumb opinion?
I think Tausch started to think I wasn't wrong.
Tausch?
What? No, Jesse it was an idiotic take. I said that at the time.
Want to make sure. Okay, well, I thought maybe we were coming around to great motivational tool time.
I think you always are looking for ways when you're in this business of saying, all right, well, I said this and then this. The Brewers are playing better. And I don't know, Homer also had a ridiculous take of the Jackson Choreo. So there's been a lot of foolishness on ESPN Wisconsin. I don't know if the KBN boys have weighed in their little group think tank that they're in as far as where they're at. But the bottom line is the Brewers, I think Pat Murphy has called them out a few times already this season.
It's true.
And last night was not pretty. 1-0 going to the bottom of the ninth. I still don't know. Like I didn't get a great replay on Yelich's double down the third base line. How that thing stayed fair, I don't know. but they gritted it out and then obviously finished it off in the 10th. And now you're looking, they won another series, and you're just looking to kind of tread and stay where you're at and then make a push. And I am going to give Jesse some credit. We haven't talked a ton of Brewers on this show. He brought that into the vernacular, and it made us kind of diagnose a little bit. And I think the Brewers, they are trending. They're starting to trend the way that we felt, and they have some horses coming that should be able to help make that push as we're getting into, the dog days of summer.
So it was not a foolish opinion now. It was something that helped turn the season around.
Two things, Jason, two things can be true. It can be a foolish opinion, and it can also be looked at and say, if you're the opinion giver, you could say, you know what? Maybe, and I highly doubt that that's the case, but this is where we're at. The Brewers have played much better since Jesse called for Pat Murphy's head. That also can be true.
They've also played a more favorable schedule. They've had more home games. They did struggle. They should be better than 7-3 in their last 10 because they lost 2 in Pittsburgh over the weekend. That they should have at least won one of those 2 games. So they should actually be better and over 500 entering play today instead of at 500 like they are.
I refuse to confuse coincidence with causality. I am not going to go back on our opinion that this was premature by Jesse and wrong. I'm not on board. I'm not giving him credit for this. He doesn't deserve it. It was a dumb take in the moment. He was criticized roundly at the party. He was criticized roundly here because the Brewers have played better has nothing to do with Jesse's knuckleheaded opinion. So I can't do it. Sorry. I'm out.
All right. Fair enough.
You want to hear how it sounded last night?
Of course.
Brewers Radio Network.
Were you on the call?
I wish. Josh Mauer had the big moment last night. Here's how it sounded.
Pitch to him. Fly ball deep right. It's going to win the game. Abreu's going back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam. Oh, my goodness, Christian Yelich. He walks it off in grand fashion.
That is from the Brewers Radio Network. You'll be able to hear today's game on 100.5 ESPN Madison, the Madison home of the Milwaukee Brewers, and, of course, on 620, the flagship 620 WTMJ. So is this recent run of success changing your timeline for interest? Like, are you more interested now? Are you more invested? Or is it more wake me in September like you are with college basketball, wake me in March?
Oh, you're asking me. No,
I am asking you.
I'm more interested. Last year was a surprise, and I really enjoyed it. Got to a bunch of games. I have, unfortunately, not gotten to any games yet. I know we're going down there on the 11th to do our show. Have some fun things planned when we're down at AmFam Field. So I think Jesse brings up an interesting point about the schedule. The Braves are good. There's going to be tougher, I guess, teams than what we've seen recently. But I think the Red Sox are hovering around 500. I just want this team to continue to give themselves a chance to have a chance. Mm-hmm. That's all we're looking for. And I think this part of the season, you need to just you need to win the games you're supposed to, and you're supposed to tread water. And then hopefully, when you get Woodruff back, all of a sudden maybe you can make a push. Find a way to get in the playoffs. We've seen that. That's what this group has done. I trust what Matt Arnold is doing. I think how he's approached it, they're doing it. And, as far as Pat Murphy goes, he deserves the manager of the year. I think even with some of the early season struggles and why I thought Jesse's point was so dumb, he deserves the benefit of the doubt, and I think he did a fantastic job last year, and it's difficult when you lose a guy like Adames, who's the leader in the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. There's a little process that you have to go through, and you can't just say, fire everybody. But you also have to pick up your urgency level, and hopefully that's what's happened.
Jesse, are you taking a victory lap for your brilliance, or are you going to just do the right thing and admit you were wrong to say but not say that you needed to talk about the manager's job status?
And I never called for his job, so I'd like to once again reiterate that point that
you didn't, but you did.
Never said Pat Murphy.
You didn't, but you did.
I didn't. I said that.
Hey, that's what I said.
I asked at what point do we need to start to have a conversation if the team continues to struggle? Turns out after I asked that question,
a conversation about having a conversation,
no,
like a chance to have a chance?
At this point, no conversation is needed at all. We can keep on rolling exactly how things have been. Everybody's coming back. 7-3, turned it around. They found out how to score runs again. And what I loved last night, they worked, and on Memorial Day too, worked themselves out of some tight pitching jams late, some more energy. Crowd was a little more into it as you get into May and Memorial Day. Fans are starting to fill up American Family Field a little bit more.
Hot dog night.
That helped.
Dollar hot dog.
That helped.
That's a good little start.
What did I say when they were in Cleveland 2 weeks ago?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you, they were lacking an edge. They didn't have an edge this season. Starting to feel Yelich with a walk-off granny last night.
So the hot dogs provided an edge, or what provided the edge?
Abner Uribe out of the bullpen. He's a little firecracker. He's big on the mound.
He's a little firecracker.
Yeah, when he's out on the mound,
that was Marshawn Lloyd.
Very animated out there. I love that. McGill with a big save on Monday.
McGillster.
Yeah, I like what I'm starting to see. A little more edge from this squad. Churio draws a walk last night. And, by the way, Homer draws a walk. And then he points to Contreras as he's coming up saying, "You got us." And he's pointing to him as he's trotting to first base. A little more edge, a little more fire. I like it.
Edge.
You sure he wasn't pointing
edge
past Contreras to Homer in the stand saying, "See, there's a walk for you, you crazy old man." We will suspend our Brewers talk because we need to get ready for Bryan Bulaga, and I want to get to a couple of the questions that went unanswered yesterday from my piece at channel3000.com, but not before Mark Tauscher tells us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, there was no better time for Pat Murphy and the Brewers to pick up their game than after Jesse called them out, and there is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set your free in-home consultation. You don't have to commit to nothing at this point, and they'll listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions do apply. And this deal ends the end of May. May has flown by, man. You only got 3 days left for the 0% over a 6-year period of time. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
What are the questions as OTAs kick off? We'll get to a few of them next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams, like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards, like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
This is our crew.
12 stolen bases on the year. There he goes. Pitch is high. Throw it is second. Is right on the back. They got him. Oh, wow.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
Bryan Bulaga coming up at the bottom of the hour. Packers OTAs kickoff. Well, they kicked off yesterday. Today's the first one that we get to attend as reporters. I do not believe it is open to fans, which I still think is one of the many things that they do that belies the fact that they are owned by the community and owned by the fans.
Do we know? Did we ever get an answer why they don't just? Is it security? Is it cost? What? Like, why are we not letting 1,000 people go down on the rail and watch?
Yeah, it's football doesn't want their football out for everyone's consumption. I believe that's the answer.
All right, that's really dumb.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I remember the days when you were a player and we went to every single practice and you had a better feel for where guys were at. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Somebody yesterday could have had a terrible day, and today then they go out and they have a really good day, and we're all going to talk about how good they were, even though they were terrible yesterday, or vice versa, as Tausch likes to say. And they were great yesterday, but they stunk today, and we all talk about, boy, did you see so-and-so? They looked rough. Yeah, I would like to be at every practice, but that's not
I guess,
how this works.
I just don't understand. You're not putting in plays against Detroit today.
You are not.
And you're letting the media in. Why would you not let fans come watch? I can't get my head wrapped around why that would be something that you'd – I couldn't understand why you don't announce and celebrate contract extensions for your top 2 lieutenants. and I can't understand this. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I want to have it make sense.
Make it make sense.
And I am open to someone making it make sense to me. I am not obtuse enough to say I have all the answers. I have ideas.
Pretty obtuse.
Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're wrong. I don't know why, if you're going to have the media there, why you won't let people. You're not going to have thousands of people there today, but you might. And last time I checked, you built this big old pro shop, and you have all this. I guess I can't. I don't understand, and I want to understand.
I do know that one of their concerns, frustrations, issues, they limit how much we're allowed to take video or photos. It's hard to limit the fans. Now, during training camp, there's more of them as well, but that is definitely a sticking point for them. They don't want video out on social media platforms. Now, do I think maybe they do? Maybe the Detroit Lions have a staffer who combs the random Twitter accounts and Instagram accounts of Packers fans looking for video that would just give them plays.
This? Like, you still have fans come out during training camp.
You do?
And you're much more likely. I guess again, man, they're going to do their business the way they want to, and Lord knows they're uber successful at what they're doing. I don't get this, though. Your fans are going to – you want fans to come, and here you go. You're not going to be showing what coverage you're going to have on Amon St. Brown or Jamison Williams. You're not. Like, that's not what today or these OTAs are. It would be nice, I'm sure, for fans to look at Matthew Golden. Get a look. Oh, is Belton capable? And, again, you don't have to. I would love to understand why. That's all.
I can promise you that when I have if and when I have a sit down with Ed Policy, this will be among the questions that I have for him. Because if I have one issue with the organization, and again, this is not just me up in my ivory tower. Well, that's a subset of my issue. Okay. Is that they love the narrative that they're owned by the fans, that they are the only ones without a deep-pocketed billionaire owner, but they don't necessarily treat their fan base as if they're appreciative of the fact that they're the owners. And whether that's with ticket prices or concession prices, whether that's with being shareholders who get nothing. I was giving Kyle from Kyle Bruston Norman a hard time the other day because he's a shareholder, and he was bragging about how the Packers let them buy special shareholder merchandise. I said, wait, so one of the perks of being a shareholder is that you get the right to spend more money with them? They don't give you a polo shirt. They give you the chance to buy a polo shirt that says shareholder on it. Yeah,
that's
like what they
that.
do.
I think that's actually a good idea. I like it. You can kind of brag that it's exclusive.
Right. Or you could just give that to them since they spent $250 on a piece of stock.
I'm not in the world to just give stuff when you're running a business, which they are. I get your point.
With a $500 million in the reserve fund.
Jason, I'm not going to tell. Why don't you start breaking down all these big endowment funds from universities to them?
No, I'm not.
That's not.
They're not the ones coming out saying that they're owned by the fans, bro. That's my point.
Well, Kai,
let's not get lost in the weeds.
Okay, again, I'm not going to get into that with you. Here's what I want to say. Your point on this, being voice of the fans and all this other stuff, running a business, I want you to make money. Otherwise, you won't have a business. So I want the Packers to develop Titletown, and I want them. And this goes against everything that is. You want fans to come and drink at your bars and go play golf at your little golf shop. And now you got a workout club, and you have all this other stuff. And then you're not giving access to people to come and watch. where they would go and spend money at the pro shop, and they'd go do the tours and all the other stuff. That's the issue I have. That you are a capitalistic, you are a money-making machine. And you know what? Kudos to you. But then in this case, you're not. And it's not given a competitive disadvantage, because that could be the argument, and I get it. That's not what this is. So that's the problem I have. It doesn't make any sense. And I want to make it make sense because I know that they want to give fans a good experience, and I know that they want to make money. And you have both sitting here right on a tee, and instead of swinging the club, you say, I'm going to put the ball away. I'm just going to go home. Not making any sense. So.
What does make sense is that on our calendar a little later in June, after the mandatory minicamp is over, we will be headed again to Hard Rock Casino Rockford.
Oh, we will. I think I'm going to take a dabble at those Denver Broncos. I think I'm going to take a look. Because the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, it features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book that I believe Jesse J. Nelson may have made a really wise
one more win,
and a rock shop. And if you're hungry, we had a great lunch there. You're going to have diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe. You got Council Oak Steaks, seafood, bricked Italian kitchen. I really want to try the UU Noodle Bar. Street tacos and constant grind. Hard Rock Live entertainment venue is also 23,000 square feet. And I believe someone in the news, Terry Bradshaw, going to be heading on down to the old Hard Rock Casino. I know our team will be down there asking him a bunch of questions. I would bet, you think Pablo's got to go down there, doesn't he, Jesse, and create some content with Terry Bradshaw and Aaron Rodgers and all that good stuff? All right?
Sure, yeah. I don't know if Terry's available for an exclusive, but he's doing a show.
Oh, I got a hunch Terry Bradshaw will be available for an exclusive. Terry Bradshaw's going to talk to anybody that puts a microphone up in his face. Hard Rock Casino, again, down in Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
Bryan Bulaga, who is from Illinois, went to Iowa, played in Wisconsin, and lives in Florida, joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
The schedule, as we all know, it's very challenging, daunting, however you want to describe it.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He wants guys who want to jump at the opportunity to play against a schedule like that.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hey, want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip. Hey, we are so back serving up our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Yeah, your dinner is hand-breaded, fried to perfection, ready to eat for tonight's dinner. Or you can buy it cold, sealed fresh for tomorrow's lunch. You know, we love to make life easier for you. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
At Metro Ford of Madison, they sell vehicles that are built in America for America. This month, enjoy their You Pay What We Pay sale. The 2024 Ford Mach-E offers 0% APR financing for 72 months. $13.89 cost per $1,000 borrowed. The 2024 Ford F-150 is available with 2.9% APR financing for 66 months. $16.47 per $1,000 borrowed. Bonus cash available on XLT and SXT models. All offers available to qualified credit. Browse their inventory at MetroFordofMadison.com.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. During every Brewers home game at American Family Field throughout the 2025 season, fans will have the chance to win a 2025 Land Cruiser, courtesy of your Wisconsin Toyota dealers. Visit brewers.com/Toyota to enter. Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Memorial Day savings are here at Brothers Maine. Shop unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Monogram. Plus, enjoy expert support and free local delivery. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Baseball is back. Bryan Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah, I do.
You know what that music means. It's time for our famous friend. And I'm going to ask him to make a prediction based on no information whatsoever, because I haven't seen a practice yet. It is our friend Bryan Bulaga and our favorite former Packers right tackle. Bryan, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited to watch an OTA practice. The first one that's opened us is today. There was one yesterday. Here's my question. Where do you think, because we don't really know, Anthony Belton, their second-round pick, and John Williams, whose name, as Tausch pointed out, is very bland, not to be confused with John Williams.
He needs a nickname. He needs a
the
moniker
rocket
of some
scientist.
sort.
He's the rocket scientist.
All right.
Where will they line up? Because here's the problem. We have been told that Anthony Belton is not part of the left tackle competition. It's Jordan Morgan versus Rasheed Walker. So does that mean he's going to be the competition for Zach Tom at right tackle? Is he going to be the competition for Sean Ryan at right guard? What do you expect, knowing that I'm not going to hold you to this? I'm just curious what you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is he will be lining up at right guard, would be my first guess. That'll be where he starts off at, behind Sean Ryan. And he'll probably get some snaps at right tackle at some point. Again, I don't think there's going to be much of a competition at right tackle. But there's got to be a plan at right tackle, right? If something were to happen. So someone's going to have to take some snaps there, right? I mean, and Zach Tom's not taking every snap during camp, so someone's got to take the 2 snaps there. So I would imagine he's going to get some reps there. And I would imagine whoever doesn't win the left tackle job as well will also get some snaps at right tackle. So I think it's going to be a rotation of what Belton does from right guard to right tackle, and it's good that he'll probably just stay on that right side and just bounce around from those two spots would be my guess.
Well, that is the thing that I'm most intrigued by today. And again, I don't know who we will get to talk to. We do not get to go in the locker room because the home locker room is being renovated, and apparently that brand spanking new third locker room for Man City when they come to play games here is not large enough for us to be in there. So we'll get a few selected players, Jordan Love and a few others. It was
that an eye roll by you?
It was, yeah. I don't think I asked for a lot, but I would like to be able to choose who I talk to instead of having them chosen for me. So I'm not a fan of that. But hopefully Zach Tom is among them, so we can ask him, hey, how do you feel about having to compete for your job while you're in a contract year and we all thought you were getting an extension? I'm also so I don't know who we're going to talk to. We'll wait and see on that. I'm also curious to see what the wide receivers do. I guess I'm taking requests from you two. What would you like me to keep my eye on today?
Well, is Elton Jenkins going to be there today?
I don't know. I have not corresponded with him. I don't know. But I will be watching to see if he's there and if Jacob Monk is going to be at center instead, because he's not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. If Elton's not there, who's playing center? Because, I mean, I guess my question would be, if Elton's not there, I mean, I don't think he'll be there. I don't know why he would show up to do OTAs.
Right.
I don't know why he would show up to do that if he wasn't there, the last few weeks.
A workout bonus. Maybe he has a workout bonus. That's why he'd be there.
Yeah, but he's already missed that. That's already gone. I mean, if it's 90%, like we always remember it to be, he's already missed the 90% of it. Like, that's gone. That's, I mean, you miss that many days, it's toast. But let's just put it this way: say Elton is the starter at center, right? They figure it out, and Elton breaks a chin strap. Who moves into that position? Is that Sean Ryan? Does Sean Ryan move into that position and take snaps at center? Is it Monk? Who is the person that then takes over at that position that they trust to make the IDs, to kind of run the show there? So that is something that is worth noting and paying attention to during this time, right? I mean, I think, obviously this period is a lot of learning, a lot of teaching. So, guys aren't, there's still competition, don't get me wrong, but it's not as cutthroat as it would be in the summer, right? So Monk could go out there and take all the snaps, and it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. But once you put pads on, it's a different story, right? There's a lot more responsibility and things that guys are, it's just different. We'll just put it that way. So that'll be interesting to see. And I think the one thing would be I'd like to see too, Jason, is in how equally are they splitting the left tackle reps? Is it dead 50-50? Or is, that's what I would like to see. Or are they each getting equal amount of ones and equal amount of twos? Or how is that working out? How is that looking? So is she taking reps with the twos all of a sudden now? This guy started at left tackle for how many
34 games.
Now he's got to split reps at the twos. It's interesting to me how that's going to play out. So that's something that I'd like to know how that works.
Blue, why do you think they went with Jordan Morgan exclusively at guard and didn't put him out there? And then after watching him play, do you just think they view him more suited to play left tackle? Or do you think that's coming from Jordan Morgan saying, I want to play left tackle?
Listen, players can obviously speak their mind about where they want to play and give their opinion, right? I mean, they're more than welcome to. And coaches can take that input and they can do what they want with it, right? But they don't have to meet that demand at all. Like, right? Like I could have, after I blew my knee out, I could have came back and said, well, I want to compete for a left tackle. I don't want to go back to right tackle. I want to still stay at left tackle. I mean, why do I get kicked out of that position just because I tore my ACL? That's ridiculous. But they would have looked at me and said, too bad. Like, you're going back to right tackle. Just deal with it. So I don't think that's it. Maybe they looked at it more. He's a tackle, right? Like, and you know, we didn't get to see too much of him play guard. So like, it's hard to judge him based off how little we saw of him, right? And that's the problem with making a true judgment on him as a player. You saw him play a little bit in preseason as a tackle, and like the way he moves is like a tackle. Like, you see the way he moves and his footwork and like how he just kind of, you know, gets out of his stance and everything screams to me tackle. So to move him inside, it just doesn't. To me, it doesn't fit. So like, the fit is at tackle. So that move makes sense to me. Obviously, the shoulder and
Blue. Listen, man, that's where he played. That's why I was so surprised that the competition was over day 2 last year of training camp, and then it moved him in. And so I just wonder if they watched him, or with the injury to his shoulder, if they were just like, all right, we drafted you to be the left tackle. We don't want to. You think it's more of we don't want to pay Sheed and we need to find a guy, or do you think this is where Jordan Morgan is a tackle? That's where we need to play him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I don't think it's like we don't want to pay Sheed. Like I don't want to look at it that way as much. Like, because I don't want to like get after Sheed here, right? Like, 'cause I think the guy's played really good, that he deserves to get money from somebody, right? Like, I think that's. I want to make that well known. He's played well. I just think that I'll relate it back to my situation as a rookie. Like, obviously, I wasn't better than Cliff. I wasn't better than you coming in as a rookie. So what'd they do to me? They tried to put me in at guard. They tried to have me compete at left guard, and I was absolutely terrible at it. So guess what? I sat the bench.
What I heard.
That's what happened. So like,
that's what you've said.
That's how I kind of saw like. That's what I kind of like see what what Jordan Morgan kind of went through. Like, he competed with Sheed as a rookie. He wasn't going to beat him out. So like, that's the way it went. So they moved him inside, and that's where he competed. And obviously the shoulder injury happened, and you know that's the way it worked out.
Yeah,
so now he's going back outside to compete.
But Brian, that's the part I don't get, because Sheed didn't get worse. He got another 17 games of experience under him. And you didn't think you could compete and beat him out last year, but now you do? Like, I that's the part I guess I'm confused. So is it more he can because he's a year stronger and he understands it more? That battle is going to be really fun for, I think, you and I and for everybody to watch unfold, because that's the battle of, if your coach isn't the GM, the coach is always going to go Sheed, because he's done it and he's proven it. But the GM is always looking at, he's a first-round pick. Unless there's he's just that much better, it's going to be really fun to watch that battle play out and who ends up winning it, and then what the after effects of whoever loses it, how they approach their job, and if there's another spot on the line for them to play.
Yeah, and I just want to, and Tausch, you may look at it different than I do, and Jason, I know you know, when you guys are on the sidelines for training camp, you guys look at this differently as well than I always did as a player when we were out there. And Tausch, I know when you were out there as a player, you hated this too, but like, I just don't want people to get carried away with what happens with the one-on-one reps that these guys do against our D-line, right? Like, and I know there's a lot of stock put into it. Who wins in the one-on-one reps? And if Sheed wins a one-on-one rep and Morgan has a bad day, and then the next day it's vice versa. Like, don't put a lot of stock into those reps. Like, those aren't the reps that are going to win and lose a job based, through camp. Like, they just won't. I always looked at those reps as something that you could do for a new technique, to try something new, to see if that will work. Like, I never looked at that as like, oh my gosh, like if I don't win this rep, like this is like a really bad ordeal for me. Like, I looked at it as something to try something new, like a jump set, a short set, like a deep, like always trying something new. So like, don't take into account those reps. The reps that matter, as I always looked at it, were the team reps, right? The team reps are huge. And then when you get into these joint practices, now that they're doing joint practices, those are the reps that count. Like, those reps and how those guys are doing in these joint sessions are the ones that matter. So when you see these guys going against the other teams, those are going to be the ones that count, and they always will be. And I know that Rob, and I'll get on Rob about it too once the season starts. I know he likes to keep his tally. He loves his tally. He's been doing it probably as long as he's been reporting. But the tally,
he's done it forever.
Yeah, it's fun to keep it. I get it. But that won't be the deciding factor of this thing. It just won't. It's fun to keep. It's fun to watch. It's an intense drill. But there's more to it than just that. And it will be a fun battle to watch. That is for sure.
Blue, I'm telling you, I know you're pleading for these guys, the Will D's, the Demoskis of the world, to not put that out to their fans. But that's like telling a toddler when there's a steaming pot, hey, don't go touch that. You know they're going to go touch it. You know they can't help themselves. That is what because it's easy and it's right there. So I agree with what you're saying, but that is not how the reality of what happens in training camp does. Jason.
I don't keep those stats.
No, I don't keep those stats.
Well, I don't.
Report them.
At
Channel 3000, you'll have an article written as the day is long. Jordan Morgan got beat today, did Rasheed Walker stone Rashawn Gary? I think Rasheed is pulled into the lead. Like, I will bet donuts to dollars something of that ilk will happen in your paper.
Yeah. Oh, okay. A couple things. One, there is no paper.
Website.
Second, I will not write.
I've really gotten better at not correcting you, he says, Brian. I don't even correct you anymore.
You did get after him a bit there.
Just defending myself. Second, I don't think I will write. I think Rasheed Walker has pulled ahead of Jordan Morgan. What I will write is Rasheed Walker got X number of snaps with the ones compared to Jordan Morgan, which would be an indicator that perhaps he's moved forward.
But how are they doing those one-on-ones?
The only time I have used the one-on-one stats was the year that Lucas Patrick, as an undrafted free agent who got a contract after being a tryout guy, went undefeated in camp.
Yeah.
Which was crazy, and that did help his chances of getting onto the practice squad that first year. Like, he was one of those great, holy crap, this guy came out of nowhere. And he was, I think, doing it with, like, a brace on his hand or something after he broke his thumb during training camp. So I'm with Blue. I will write if Rasheed Walker stones, to use your phrase, Rashawn Gary in an 11-on-11 period in pads, you're damn right I'm going to point that out. Now, maybe that'll be because Rashawn Gary went from having this monster camp last year to not being the elite pass rusher that we were anticipating during the actual season, or maybe it'll be about the left tackle job. All right, Brian.
You can double dip. You could double dip. Say,
two stories in
doing
one.
Great.
Yeah.
Rashawn sucks.
It's a breath
double
mint.
dip it.
I do want to discuss the Jaire Alexander situation because, as Tausch and I talked about yesterday, I think the most interesting thing in Matt Steinman's very good story on The Athletic was not the fact that the Packers have an offer on the table to Jaire Alexander. That is not what I think is most interesting. I think it's interesting that he plans on showing up, whether he's got the deal in place or not.
I thought you were going to tease that out.
And we will ask
really
Brian.
Like anticipating what that was.
And we will ask Bryan if he agrees with my theory, which I will tell you next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Bryan Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Surfside. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka. It's light, refreshing, and has 0 bubbles. It's perfect for a day on the golf course or a day at American Family Field. Cheers to Surfside.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Mark Tauscher, and if you know me, you know I love our home teams, like the Brewers and UW Credit Union. And now, when you open a rewards checking account at any UW Credit Union branch by June 6th, you get 2 Brewers tickets for an upcoming game. Plus, enjoy all the best rewards, like early payday and cash back on credit card purchases. Visit any UW Credit Union branch or uwcu.org for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
In for Pablo Iglesias, I'm Jesse Nelson, ranking all 136 FBS quarterback situations into tiers ahead of the 2025 season. That's the title of an article by ESPN college football writer David Hale. Tier 1, top of the class. No Wisconsin there, and in fact, they're not listed in tiers 2 through 14 either. All the way down in tier 15, categorized as We Used to Be Somebody, is where we find the Badgers with starter Billy Edwards Jr. and backup Danny O'Neal. Check out the full article counting down to the college football season at ESPN.com.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Breese Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got...
Tausch, while I appreciated your assistance with my tease...
It was such a great setup by you. I'm so proud of him. He's teasing this out, and then you start spilling the beans. Pretty good.
It was because I needed you to tell us about Coors Light before we went to that break.
Oh, Coors Light. I love a good tease, and I love a good Coors Light. Brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it is made to chill and make sure those mountains are blue and the clouds are asymmetrical. That's when you know Coors Light is chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Continuing with the great Bryan Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch. All right, Brian, as I so adeptly but not really teased at the end of the final of the last segment. So Jaire Alexander, per The Athletic, has a contract offer from the Packers on the table. This long-running saga still has not reached its end game. And according to this story, the Packers' offer has not been accepted by Jaire Alexander or his agent, John Thornton. And according to a source that Matt Steinman is quoting, Jaire intends to come to the mandatory minicamp, report to the mandatory minicamp, or even report earlier than that. So perhaps next week's OTAs, hell, he could be there right now for all I know. We'll find out. And everyone, it felt like this was like, there was this feeling of, oh, this is great. You know, they're getting closer to him being a Packer. And he's even willing to come in, even though they haven't addressed his contract situation. Is this not a power play move by him? Because they have not wanted him to take part in the offseason program without getting his contract adjusted to protect them from injury. Because they don't want him to pop his Achilles, and then they're on the hook for $16.15 million for this year. This is not some sort of magnanimous move of, oh, God, I'm such a good team player. I'm going to come in even though my contract situation's not resolved. He's under contract for more than they are going to want to give him this year. Is this not, am I misreading this? Am I, for lack of a better term, obtuse? Or is this more than meets the eye like Transformers?
No, I mean, I think this is, to me, it's a good move by Jaire. Like, I think it's a good move. It's a smart move. I mean, if I'm him, I'm going in. I'm going in and participating. And, like, that is his right, bargained under the CBA, that he is allowed. He's under contract to go in and work out with the team. If he is not, if he's not allowed to go in, then there's an issue there with the team and the union. Like, that's an issue. Like, you can't keep him away. Like, there's a problem there. So if I'm him, I'm reporting and I'm showing up and I'm participating and I'm making sure that I'm there, and I'm because as of right now, he's still on the roster. And we were talking about this all the way back during, the combine. And then the combine went through and there was nothing, right? No, nothing happened. And then the draft, he's still on the roster. He is on the team, regardless of what continues to get reported. He is on the team, adjusted contract or not. He is on the team. So, to me, show up, do what you need to do, and if the contract gets adjusted, it will in due time. But continue to go about your business and participate with the team, and that's the way I would look at it.
So, did you ever serve as a NFLPA rep, or were you smart enough to avoid that job?
I always avoided that. Avoided that.
So, Tausch, what happens if he does, as Brian and I are saying, and he shows up and the Packers don't want him to participate until they've lowered his salary and his cap number? What happens then?
So they basically have to come to an agreement together that any monies that were supposed to be paid via workout incentive or whatnot, if you're restricting him, now, Jai, you have to let him come in the building. You can work out an agreement and say, all right, well, we'll give you your workout bonus, but you can't come in the building. You can negotiate and work all that stuff out. But if he wants to come in, he's coming in. And if the Packers can also say, well, we're going to release you, or
right,
we're going to put you on a list. Now, you can't just throw people on I think it's the not able to perform list, or there's something. You can't just do that without cause. And typically, if you are trying to play a power play move, which you're saying he may be doing, you're then going to try and figure that piece of it out, because that's not going to be good for any party involved. But the issue is, from Jaire's standpoint, I would bet, again, I keep going donuts to dollars here, I would bet that the Packers offer, and in Schneidman's article, the Packers have put an offer out to him. It is very low. And he guarantees the $16 million, that's a fart in the wind. I thought $6 million. I wouldn't be surprised if it was lower than that. Because if I'm Jaire, I have to look at this reasonably and say, I don't know who's going to give me a $10 million guarantee next year. I don't think anybody will. Now, is 6 fair? I think with his talent and what he's proven, even though he's been hurt for a vast majority of the last 4 seasons, he wants to get that more, and he wants resolution. And if it's not going to be the Packers, then he has to start looking in another direction. And the only way to actually get that release, because there is no roster bonus or, I guess, artificial deadline, would be to force the Packers' hand, because I know this. The Packers were very sensitive. There is a group of us that they cut after that labor, whatever you want to call it, strike or lockout, whatever it was. And it was very clear to us that you can come in the building, but there is not much you can do, because if you do drop a weight on your foot, or if you yank a hammy, putting your shorts on, you're going to be on the hook for that period. Now, obviously, a hammy, that's 3 weeks. You bust a toe or tear an Achilles, that $16 million is going to get paid, and they're not going to do that. So Jaire and his team might be looking at this and saying, all right, let's at least get this ball rolling, and this will force Green Bay to give us their best offer or to release us,
right?
Because there needs to be a resolution at some point.
So what were you allowed to do? You were allowed to go to the cafeteria and get a snack, or when?
No, it was at that point. If you remember, there was a couple of things canceled, and then they came to the Hall of Fame game got canceled. And in essence, what it was, you could start going through your physical, but you could not. You go into the weight room, and they're like, you can't lift, you can't do anything. And by the way, you're getting cut. I mean, that was the gist of the conversation.
Jeez.
It's
a tough league, man. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you remember, Mike Golick told us the story of his finishing his career in Miami. And he had a knee injury that he was, and everybody was saying, get back out there. And they cleared him. Blue, you know this. You'd go and remember you'd walk out that side door of the, over by the showers, and you'd walk out and then you go to your car and you go down to practice. Well, yep. Golick is explaining it. They clear him, and then once they clear him and he agrees to it, all of a sudden any back of the sever, any of the stuff, the injury, that goes bye-bye. So he walks out after he's got his helmet, he's going down to practice. He wants to make the team, he wants to get back out there. And there's literally somebody right there at the door saying, turn your helmet in, you're gone. That's the business that the NFL is, and it's gotten better, but it's still as cutthroat as it's ever been.
Yep.
How did you find out that you were done with the Chargers?
It was, what was it? 2 days or a day before a roster bonus was supposed to be paid. I got a call. I just got a call and said, we're going to release you. And I was like, I assumed that. I mean,
you figured it was coming.
Yeah, I assumed that was going to happen. I mean, it was kind of at that, it was funny because I was already, I knew it was coming because we were at the house in California actually cleaning out the house. That's how That's how positive I was that it was coming. Like, me and Abby were like cleaning out the house, and I'm like, if this doesn't happen, what are we doing? Like, what are we going to do? Like, I don't know what's going to happen here. Like, we're getting rid of all this stuff, and if this doesn't happen, like,
we have to get an apartment.
What are we going to do here? Yeah, like, I don't know. We're loading up a pod thing. Like, if they don't cut me, like, I don't know what's going to happen here. But sure as it was, like around like 9 o'clock that night, phone rang, and that's what it was.
So was Sitton's release the biggest? Because Tausch and I that was the first year we were doing the show that happened. It was like a couple of weeks into us even having a show. Was that the biggest surprise? Was that if there was ever a guy getting cut, was that, or were there, I know he was talking about being unhappy about playing the last year of his contract out and not getting an extension, but that, for me anyway, that is the biggest surprise that I've ever had as a covering cuts at the end of training camp.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously very surprised about it, knowing how productive he was as a player and how good he was. Just like everything I knew about him, and obviously what he meant to our O-line room and what he was to the team. Everything that was what was going on with him contractually at the time, and anything that was going on outside of between the lines, right? Like, but between he and his agent and what happened, like, I had no idea, right? Like, I was still technically very young at that point. Like, I had no idea what was going on. Like, I was a young kid at that. I mean, what do I know, right? Like, I have no clue. I was still in my first year, my first contract. I think that was probably year 3. Yeah, that was probably year 3 for me. So, like, or 4. Well, I don't even know what it was.
No,
was it,
wrong.
What was that?
Dude, you were not a young man anymore. It was 2016. You were a rookie in 2010.
Oh, okay. So that was 2016.
You were an old, wily veteran.
Oh, so that was year 6. Okay, so maybe that was. Okay, so my timeline's way off. Oh, my gosh. What am I thinking of?
Time flies when you're so good.
No. It's just a lot of games, a lot of different years. I think, to me, it was more of the shock factor, simply because, first of all, you think about the group as a whole, right? Like, you think about the cohesion of the group. When when you go into a season, you think about the guys you're playing. It's like, okay, like, we know we have a left guard. Sitton's really damn good, like all-pro, Pro Bowl type level player. Then you got Corey, and then you got Dave, and then you got TJ was still there at the time, I believe, right? Yeah, TJ hadn't left yet. So and you got TJ. So, like,
and they got you.
So, like, you're essentially returning that same line that you've had for a long while there. So, like, it's a good offensive line. Like, what you're getting. And then when one of those key pieces goes, you get a little nervous, right? Like, and obviously that's where Lane was inserted and had to step up and play, and he did a good job. But, like, it was just very surprising, right? Very surprising, and it kind of woke me up to the reality of, like, this can happen to anybody. And, like, there were examples of that throughout time, right? Like, of different position groups on the team, obviously. But when it happens, like, dead in your face to someone that you've played next to for a long time and that you've been around with for a long time, it's a little different, right? Like, it hits you a different way. Obviously how things happen with Tausch, and then obviously with, like, Cliffy, like, yeah, I was around those guys for like a year. Like, right? Like, I was obviously played, games and things with them, but, like, I wasn't as close with them at the time. But, like, I was around Sitton for, 5 years. So, like, it hits differently when it's someone that you've been around for a while, built relationships with. So it opens your eyes to, like, man, if it happened to this guy, like, it's certainly going to happen to me at some point, like, no doubt. So, like Tausch said, it is a cold business. It is a cold business.
And Blue, Blue, that's why for everybody, and I think it's changed. There's been a shift, but for the people that are saying, Elton Jenkins, get your get your butt in here. You have 2 years left on your deal. You know what? You're never going to hear me say that. Elton Jenkins, do your deal. Do what you need to do before you switch positions in the back end of your career with nothing guaranteed left. No. You work out what you think is best, and the Packers will work out what they think is best. And if you can't come to a conclusion on it, you do you. And anybody that looks at it any other way is just looking at it and is kind of like, oh, well, you signed that deal. Well, yeah, but you know what? Use the leverage that you have when you have it. And I hope Elton gets that done and before he reports back to camp. And maybe we'll find out a little bit more about that today with our guy, Jason J. Wilde.
All right. I agree. I lied. One last thing for you because of what you said there about cohesion. And this is a different scenario in 2025 than it was in 2016 when they cut Sitton and Lane Taylor moved into the starting lineup. In any way, do competitions, especially if allegedly there are 3 of them out of the 5 spots, and one other spot is a guy who has played the position before of center but has not played it extensively in the NFL and is also not taking part in the offseason program, is cohesion going to be any more difficult for this group this year than past years because of all these moving pieces? Oh, and by the way, the 5th guy has never played for the Packers before. He came in as a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be a little difficult to start, especially if Elton, I'm just assuming Elton's going to get in, but they're going to figure it out by training camp. That's my assumption, right?
Yeah.
Like by camp, they'll have this thing figured out. So by camp, Elton's back in there, and that's the piece that gets everyone back online with the snap count, making IDs, and that's like the thing that everyone has to base all their timing off of, so that's very important. But then getting the new left guard used to a potentially 2 left tackles, it's difficult, right? He has to work out how he's going to block with potentially Sheed and potentially Jordan Morgan, and now you got potentially a battle at right guard, right? Like Belton or Sean Ryan, and how is how's Elton going to work with that? There's multiple things that have to work themselves out when you have competition across a line, right? Guys work differently with each other. Each guy doesn't play the position the same. They don't like the same thing. They don't have the same footwork as a different guy. They see things differently. Not every guy is the same. So yes, that does impact things throughout camp. It does change how guys have to play. But I would assume, and this is just me assuming, that they have to have this figured out. They got to have this figured out by the last joint practice. They have to have it figured out by the last joint practice and make their decision by then and roll with it so that this line can just practice with each other from that point on going forward. They have to have it figured out, because if you're continuing to do this all the way into week 1, I mean, it really doesn't benefit anyone at that point. It just, if you name these guys the week of the game, I just don't know what that does. It doesn't help the group at all. So I'm hoping the guys emerge, right, who are going to be the starters. They emerge by, the 3rd week, or the coaches make their decision by then, and they let these guys, kind of set their foundation and build together and get on the same page so that this thing is clicking by week 1.
Bryan, I'll talk to you tomorrow on the Homer Hour, and I'll fill you in on everything I saw today. Thanks, buddy.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Bryan Bulaga, always insightful, whether it's history lessons or what the offensive line might look like. Tausch, you and I are headed to the AmFam Championship. I think it's a little more than a week away for us.
It's 9 days in my book. The American Family Insurance returns to Madison. 2 new exciting changes this year. Wisconsin's own Steve Stricker will host the PGA Tour Champions event that runs June 6th through the 8th at its new home course. TPC Wisconsin. AmFam Champ also debuts a new team competition this year. 2-person teams will compete in best ball and scramble formats. The American Family Insurance Championship, June 6th, which we will be out at, through the 8th. Got that great concert we're going to be heading over to on Friday. I think there's some other fun things that are down the pipe as well. Get details and ticket information at amfamchampionship.com.
The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and lease a 2025 Honda Civic Sport for as low as $260 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street, and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Milwaukee Brewers and Boston Red Sox were tied at 1 as they went to extra innings last night. The Brewers pitching staff worked out of a jam in the top of the 10th to avoid allowing a run, and then Christian Yelich stepped up with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th.
Pitch to him. Fly ball deep right. It's going to win the game. Abreu's going back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam. Oh, my goodness, Christian Yelich. He walks it off in grand fashion.
Josh Mauer on the call on the Brewers radio network as heard on 100.5 ESPN last night. So again, the Brewers get a chance at their first sweep of the season this afternoon, hosting the Red Sox. 12:10 first pitch. Pregame coverage starts just after 11:30 right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Football, Packers OTA practice open to the media this afternoon in Titletown. Training camp opening day, July 23rd.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and it begins with some breaking news. Wink, wink. From 1265 Lombardi Avenue. Matt LaFleur told us it was going to be a truncated off-season program because they're going to be starting early, just like they did last year. Well, it turns out it's exactly right. Per Katie Hermson, our contact on the other side of the building, family night is set for Saturday, August 2nd, and the first practice of training camp is set for Wednesday, July 23rd. Oh boy, how do you feel about starting July 23rd for training camp if you're a player? Is that all right with you?
That's fine. It is what it is. Again, after the 4th of July, I'm ready to go when it's from a player standpoint. And actually, from my standpoint, which is what I really care about, I'll be able to come up with you and do the
dream drive.
Do the dream drive, because we're actually going to be taking a little break after that. So I'm excited. Normally it's a Thursday. We're going to be able to pull this off. So Jesse, put it on the calendar. We'll be up there. Dream Drive up at the Tundra Trio, baby. 23rd of July. Let's go.
I'll have to update our summer tour graphic here. I had TBA on there. I'll be able to update that one now. Very exciting.
So there it is, the start of training camp, July 23rd. Family night is August 2nd, so make sure you mark your calendars for that. We will get a little more into OTAs as the second practice, but the first one open to reporters is today. Before that, though, I want to remind you, I hope you've never had to make this call. I hope you never do have to make this call. But Gruber Law Offices is there waiting for your call if you have been injured in an accident. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Go to the website, gruber-law.com, to find out more. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. We'll get ready for the OTA practice with some more conversation about the Packers next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Whether it's for an upcoming summer vacation, college tuition, in advance of a life-changing purchase, or just because you're financially responsible, everybody is always looking to save money. Well, you can save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch with Everlight Solar. Our family made the switch to solar after looking around for quite some time, and at first, we just weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Boston Red Sox.
Big turn at first. He's going to try for two. Here's the throw. It's late. Aha! Hustle double for Joey Ortiz.
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Big winners are wanted this May at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, so saddle up and ride on in for the biggest prizes in town. It's all fixing to start at high noon on Saturday, May 31st. 30 winners will each be selected to collect a $1,000 prize. And that same afternoon, 3 more of our most wanted will each wrangle a $10,000 cash prize. That's $60,000 paid out in one day. Get your share of the bounty this May at
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
The Thunder rolls. Down 3-1. The Minnesota Timberwolves face a must-win Game 5. Will they survive? Coverage of Game 5 begins tonight at 8 Eastern, with tip-off at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Indeed.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound. On Wednesday, might get loud. On Friday, but on Saturday, we paint the town. Lose my sense of time on two.
Packers' first open OTA practice to the media, not to fans, as we covered earlier. Coming up in a little while here today. Tausch, we didn't get to this yet. I wanted to get to this. The Packers do know who their starting quarterback is, Jordan Love. There have been times in recent years where the quarterback wasn't here for these practices, but we knew it was going to be Aaron Rodgers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are waiting on Aaron Rodgers. And Terry Bradshaw doesn't like it. I think we can safely say that when Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers, if and when he signs with the Steelers, Terry will not be giving him his blessing to take number 12 out of retirement and wear it in Pittsburgh.
If you're going to read a quote, you better do it in a Terry Bradshaw voice for us. Otherwise, it's not going to count.
I don't do it, Terry Bradshaw. I could do it in Kermit the Frog. I can do it in Tausch's Gaelic.
Just give us a little southern drawl. It's just Terry Bradshaw.
Pirates. Well, then you read it in your Terry Bradshaw voice, Jesse.
I don't have the quote in front of me.
I kind of put you on the spot here.
Okay, Terry Bradshaw. This will be me trying to imitate Terry Bradshaw. You're the guy who does the voices. That's your lane.
Yeah, I'm not prepared.
That's a joke, Bradshaw said on 103.7 The Buzz in Little Rock, Arkansas. That is just, to me, a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? How am I doing so far?
Not
very
bad.
well?
Not bad.
That guy needs to stay in California. Go somewhere and chew on some bark and whisper to the gods out there.
Pretty good.
Terry Bradshaw not on board with Aaron Rodgers keeping the Steelers waiting. He goes on to say, I like Kenny Pickett. I'm not going to go any farther.
We're still going. Wow.
Well, there's a whole other quote, and he talks about how Kenny Pickett was not given an opportunity to succeed. You are a huge Terry Bradshaw fan. That's been established on this show, Tausch. What do you make of Terry Bradshaw's commentary here?
Terry is a provocateur. He's been on air for a long time. It's time for Terry to call it. And I think the ironic part would be is if Aaron Rodgers replaced Terry Bradshaw both as a quarterback in Pittsburgh and then on Fox as one of the guys. I think that would be kind of a fitting way to do it. So I don't have any problem with Terry Bradshaw voicing his opinion on things. I think that's great. It's good for us. It's good for the league. I think it's fun. He has not liked Aaron Rodgers for a long time. That has been abundantly clear. So why would we be surprised that he doesn't like him now? I don't understand. Is like eating tree bark? What is that? Is that a metaphor for something?
Well, you'll have to go see him at his one-man show and ask him when apparently we'll have all kinds of access to him at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Look, you're right. I don't know what the genesis of that was, of him not liking Rodgers. that bark chewing and everything else is obviously an offshoot of his idea of what Rodgers does in the offseason with the ayahuasca and all the other stuff that he might have.
But is that what ayahuasca is? It's tree
no,
bark?
no,
Like, no.
but it's not really Terry Bradshaw's area of expertise, I'm guessing.
Well, what
So,
is his area of expertise?
Football, theoretically.
Okay.
Once upon a time, I think he was very good. Like
Terry Bradshaw is very good for a long time, but
Yeah.
those days are gone. They just are.
Be sure to tune in to Behind the Bucks. I tell you about Behind the Bucks all the time, presented by Gallagher, your trusted HR and benefits consultant. They've got all these great stories. It's a different way to look at Bucks history, and whether it's going through the Giannis documentary and going behind the scenes of that Emmy-winning episode, or what it's like to play in the Olympics, or the Brandon Jennings story, the genesis of Bucks in 6, or the current one, or the most recent one being on Damian Lillard. It is all there for you on the Bucks Plus audio network. You can find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. More Wilde and Tausch with Uncle Homer scheduled to appear next, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
ESPN Wisconsin's Bryan Bulaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Zimbrick Honda and ESPN Medicine present the Game Changers of the Month, recognizing the area's best high school sports stories about those who make a positive impact in their community. Here's Pablo Iglesias with Zimbrick Honda's Game Changers of the Month.
Pablo Iglesias here at Middleton High School for the Zimbrick Honda Game Changers of the Month, and we're recognizing 2 schools who are bitter rivals, but Middleton and Sun Prairie East are putting their differences aside for a cause greater than them. This is the Cardinals Striking Out Cancer event, where over $200,000 has collectively been raised over the years for a great cause. We talk with the coaches and so many more for this great event in the Madison area.
We've raised an enormous amount of money for the American Family Children's Hospital, and that goes to speak to it. We have people just today walking around the building that putting their kids through school, and they're like, hey, thanks for sending out the link to donate. I'm happy I could help make a difference, and I'm happy that you guys are putting this on. It's important, and it's important work because everyone's affected, whether you're ready for it or not. It does affect people.
Follow ESPN Madison on YouTube to see the full interview with the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. RidgetopExteriors.com. That's RidgetopExteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
My name is Rob, and I was seriously injured. When I think of Gruber Law Offices, I think of an honest, hardworking team who will fight to represent you. Couldn't be happier with the call that I made that day.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Waiting to see a general surgeon? With Stoughton Health, it's always easy access, with most appointments within a week. And with over 160 insurances accepted, you're covered and in good hands. For more information, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. You're making love or starting the schoolyard fight. Make sure you do it right. Make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Drive a truck, fix a car, dig a ditch or you play guitar. Build a house, read a book when it's time to party or time to cook. Make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right.
I'm never going to complain about having the extended version of Duke Tomato and the All-Star Frogs at our disposal, because it usually means that Uncle Homer is joining us. We had a little bit of a technical glitch, so Jesse is working on repairing that. But I am very eager to talk to the crazy old man, because if Jesse can take credit for his misguided, and that I think is being kind, suggestion that Pat Murphy should be on the hot seat, and that's spurring the Brewers on to win 7 of their next 10 games since that ridiculous take was delivered at Pablo's birthday party, then I think Homer has every right to take credit for whatever walks Jackson Churio has worked from opposing pitchers. Am I wrong to think that what's good for the goose is good for the homer?
I think it's good for the gander, too.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with any of that.
I know he took some grief for that, which I didn't think was deserved. No,
I thought it was deserved.
You did?
A young player who you sign and is going to be one of the faces of your franchise. You've already made that determination. And you want to trade him because he's struggling in 30 games or 40 games? I think that's deserving of criticism.
All right, well, let's...
To the degree, now I don't know. But yes, I don't have a problem with the criticism either. And Homer shouldn't either.
Here he comes. Once again, it is Steve the Homer True. Homer, did you deserve criticism for your Jackson Churio opinion? Good morning.
I don't know. Yes, I'm just elated that I have expressed, and people have, either to make fun of me for whatever reason, understood the importance. He cannot, never will be an outstanding player, which we all expect, with the percentage of walks he was getting. Now, he has since improved. It's still very low, but it's not historic, and everybody needs to watch it. And if they watch it to make fun of me, fine, but it is the most important thing regarding him, more important than batting average, more important than home runs, because I'm certain he's okay in those areas. You cannot, never will be a star at the rate he was taking walks, and to his credit, he has improved since. I take no credit for that whatsoever. He gets the credit because it's impressive, given how horrible he was. The only objection anyone could have had, which very few did because they didn't respect the importance of the information, would be, Homer, you should have waited a whole year. I waited 250 plate appearances because I was appalled that no one had brought it up. So that means that I did it a little early. I don't think so, but that is going to bring some criticism. But again, the only legitimate criticism no one used because they chose instead to not even take the time to see the accuracy and importance of that particular stat based on greatness of baseball players in the major leagues. And that's sad, but so be it. That's my job. I think they're now doing it.
Speaking of jobs, did you pick up a second gig as like a telemarketer or taking calls from disgruntled customers? Because I hear a lot of phones ringing in the background. Are you like Judy from Time Life Books?
No, this is a problem. Now that I drive a Lincoln, I don't know exactly what's going on. So hold on here just a second.
We've now been put on hold by Steve the Homer True as he drives his Lincoln.
Good. I'm not exactly sure what that was and what causes it because this car is more complicated than my Scion, so I apologize for that noise.
But you got a good deal on it.
I did get a good deal.
And you go to Quick Trip for the gas.
I go to Quick Trip, yes, and I do want to emphasize it's a great point. And when I go to Quick Trip, which of course I go, I get to use regular unleaded. I was afraid that I had to go premium, and I checked with the previous owner. He said no, and that's huge because if it was premium, I would be selling it to someone else.
I thought the previous owner was some little old lady that only drove it to like the grocery store once a week. That's why it's so low on miles.
Right, 77,000 miles, but I don't know how rich they were. Yeah.
How often are you calling her for like things that you need to worry about with the car? The air pressure's a little low. What do you usually keep your tires at?
You are a good reporter. No, I asked the person who bought it from her, who was going to give it to his kids, and they said they didn't want it. So I'm not calling her. The person who I bought it from told me that he got it from a friend who. I mean, a 2012 with 77,000 miles, that's unbelievable.
That's a smoking hot deal, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
And what is the model?
We'll see.
Just out of curiosity, what is the model?
Lincoln MX SZ, I don't even know. But it's not one of those.
It's very much on brand. Okay.
Homer, what would you want Wilde as he's going to be up there at OTAs? What's the one dying question you have that you want Jason Wilde to find out information for you today about?
I mean, it's all about Jaire, but it's a question of the problem is asking a question they'll actually answer. That's what you spend time thinking about.
That's his specialty.
At least what I did.
He greases him up a little bit, and then he finds the way to get that answer out of him.
Well, I don't, but, I mean, it's like, what's the percentage chance? What's the percentage? What's the compliment? He's very good.
I know he is.
But the brilliance,
he's looking at me like
the brilliance of that is that, and you neglect to add this part to it, in addition to being very nice, he then will ask the tough question, and they answer it.
Yeah, because he's got them all greased up. It's like those fittings on that Lincoln, that 2012 Lincoln. They're all greased up. Oil's good.
I'll ask. No, hold on. Nice try. I'll ask Jason. He could grease you up. This is a great line. As much as you want, and you still ain't answering the question he wants.
That's true of you. Yeah, that's true. The grease does not work with old boy.
How about with grease? Did it work with grease?
It did.
Did it with grease?
It did actually. It did.
Homer, what's the question you want to ask? I mean, come on.
I know what percentage chance that Jaire. What percentage chance that Jaire is going to play on the Packers this year? Because to me, it's huge. I'm more willing to forgive him because I don't care if he plays half the games. They're still better than if he doesn't show up. And to be better than I think they're going to be, which is good but not good enough, I'm willing to gamble on Jaire, assuming that he wants to play in Green Bay, and I'll defer to Jason on that. I thought there was no way he wanted to, and clearly, I guess at the right price he would, or I don't know what's the best way to put that. Yeah, I want to know the percentage chance that Jaire's going to play for the Packers this year. Forget all the other stuff. But they won't answer that.
Yeah, they definitely won't answer that, and they'll say we're working through that.
Day to day.
I will say this. We are going to talk to Jordan Love. I believe we're scheduled to speak with him. I am very curious about his mentality heading into this season because I have said, I have said repeatedly that I think this is a very pivotal season for him to elevate his game to the level of being as good as he's capable of being. We have seen how good he is. If we use the Homer rule of judging players, young players, based on what they do when they play well, not when they play poorly, we have seen glimpses that he can be a great NFL quarterback. I don't know how great he can be consistently, and I'm curious how he can get to that level consistently. What does he need to do?
We don't know.
To play at that level?
We don't know how much was the lack of LaFleur having a bad year last year because he didn't know how to fit the pass and the run with a running back like that, and also how much Jordan Love was hurt and how that affected his play. I give him 2 years. I don't. This year is not as important to me as you say, but I give him 2 years. But your premise, I mean, how hurt was he? How much did the injury affect what he was capable of doing? And why was no one open?
Yeah, it wasn't all him.
Wicks, according to every analytics, was wide open all day.
Yeah, he just didn't catch many of the balls that were thrown to him.
No, he dropped too many. Nobody was wide open all day. The only guy that was wide open all day was Jaire Reed.
Said.
I don't care what the analytics said. I don't agree with the analytics. There's more than there's more than one analytic. Hold on. Let me tell you what my analytics said. Jaden Reed was open, wide open early in the year, and we loved him. And then all of a sudden he was never open. And he probably dropped too many passes, too. You watched the game. Did you say, forget analytics. Tell me your eyes, Tausch. Did you see the second half of that season, wide receivers open, any of them, all the time? Yes or no?
I did not. I think it's twofold. Part of it is the play-action pass game just was not as good. And I do wonder from Jordan's perspective, and really from the Packers' perspective, how would you think they graded Jordan Love last year? Jason?
Great question.
You think they gave him a B? What do you think they saw? Because you factor that stuff in. I
tell you what LaFleur gave him. LaFleur gave him a C-.
What?
Because LaFleur ain't blaming himself.
You think so?
Yeah, LaFleur gave Jordan Love a C-. That's what I believe.
Jason, I don't think he did. I bet he gave him a B.
Privately, not publicly.
Yeah, what privately?
Yeah.
Privately, the first half of the season, he had too many bad decisions. I think he obviously had the injury to deal with, which factored in. I bet he got a B-, C+ from the head coach. But they don't grade on letter grades, right?
No, but we do.
Not publicly. Privately, they do all the time. You know that, right?
I don't know if I know that. I don't know if they actually give out letter grades.
All the time. It's just, maybe they grade them numbers. They grade everything, right?
They do.
Everything.
They do grade everything.
Yeah, very true.
But I don't think they say you got a C+ this year as you go into your junior season as a starter. No, I think this is a pivotal year for him, and I think he knows that. Who is he going to become? Who is the quarterback he is going to be? I think this year goes a long way to deciding it. Does anyone here disagree with that?
I'll say this: it doesn't matter. He could have a year similar or worse, and he's still going to be the starting quarterback the following year.
Yeah.
Sure, I would agree.
Jason, what do you want to see more than anything else from him?
Consistency.
Given all year.
He wants to see more consistency.
I want him to be more consistently accurate, for one. There were certainly a number of drops that were part of the equation. No one's suggesting it wasn't. Mm-hmm. There was certainly the issue with his two different left leg injuries.
He needs to run more. He needs to run more.
Mm-hmm.
use his running ability more, both in passing and
yes,
running, right?
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
So those
and
are all
I think
things
it's
on the list.
unfair. And that's where I think it was unfair to criticize him last year because we all thought maybe he shredded his knee out in Sao Paulo. And then when he comes back, what did he do? He's groin or whatever it was in Jacksonville.
Groin. Yep.
It just never was there. And that was a big component to him. I think one of the things that people didn't give him enough credit for last year was getting rid of the football on time and limiting the amount of sacks that his group gave up because as we've seen by Goody's actions, not his words, he didn't think they protected him very well last year. And that's why he's making the moves and putting this competition. That is something I think Jordan Love has not gotten enough credit for is read, understand where his outlets are, and not taking a ton of sacks. And even he didn't turn the football over a ton off of that. It was more just bad decisions. It wasn't because he was getting stracked and anything else. His ability to notice the rush, keep his eyes down the field, and know where to go with the football is something we haven't given him enough love to Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
As far as grades, I want to mention that I said what LaFleur would do it. I give LaFleur a lower grade than Jordan Love. So I think last year.
No, come on, dude.
When
Matt LaFleur, hold up 1 second, Homer. Homer, let me speak, and then I'm going to give you the floor. So you just said LaFleur did it. Would you say? Are you telling me he did his worst job coaching last year? Is that what you're trying to say?
I can't compare the years, but
you've covered the team the whole time. What do you mean you can't compare?
I can't remember that far back. Come on.
All right, that's fair.
Wilde, that's 5
but
years
you
ago,
just
4
said
years ago,
he was worse than Jordan Love, and that was
yes.
a C.
Yeah.
You gave him a C or C minus. Matt LaFleur last year. Let's slow down. This is what drives me nuts.
What
about
what
certain media, narratives that get
what?
Jordan Love, his starting his starting quarterback gets hurt. They bring a guy in that was cast away by the Tennessee Titans. And he wins and looks great doing it with Malik Willis. Then he changes and adapts his run game to fit the guy that is able to do what he does with what now looks as if the O-line was not as good as we all thought, with a receiving core that had no clear-cut number one, and their offense still does what it does, and you say Matt LaFleur had a disappointing season?
I said he had a word.
Make it make sense.
You should be as well. What do you mean it didn't make sense? You had this great running back.
No, I said make it make sense.
He did a great job when he had a quarterback and just said run the damn ball. But we thought when Jordan Love came back that the offense should be not only good but better. This guy is a play savant. And now he's got the best balance he's ever had. He's got a best. And the receivers are never open. And the passing game is nothing as far as what you'd expect. That's on LaFleur, given the standard. Now, I don't know what you have against the media. If I said LaFleur's a terrible coach, maybe I said last year, I don't think he did well when Jordan Love came back. I will never understand.
You said he stunk last year. You just said he was worse than Love. You said Love was a C minus and he was worse than Love. Those are your words. I didn't put those words in your mouth, did I?
How do you work with this guy? I said that LaFleur would have given Jordan Love that grade. I didn't say it was my grade. Jason, is that exactly what I said? Play the tape.
It's a burden. There's no doubt about it. But I'm no picnic, as I've been told
just
before.
Like most coaches, they're never going to blame themselves.
So, Homer, your argument on LaFleur, if you want to, and this is where I was upset, is sloppy play, not being consistent, and with what that offense did the last 2 or 3 weeks, if you want to spin the narrative you just spun, that's where you go. Because the end of the season stunk. And that's why you saw 3 picks in the first 87 all go on offense. That's why you're seeing. That's why you saw them go pick up a big left guard. Because they know this offense ain't good enough to get it done against the big boys. We saw that repeatedly last year. And that's your argument for LaFleur not having a good year.
Okay. Well, I've always said he's into
I'm
smart.
like debating
more than
myself
so.
here.
Yeah, kind of.
Debating myself. That's
it's
not
great.
Sounds like your dream scenario.
You must be tired. Tausch, you must be tired at the end of the show because you not only have to talk, but you have to tell everybody else what they should be saying. Man, that is, whoa.
No, I want you to hold, Homer, I want you to be held accountable, and I want you to back up what you're saying. That's all.
Yeah.
And when you do that, I want to put points at you.
That's what I don't like about the media.
What?
All right. He in fairness, Tausch actually does 3 things during the show.
Oh.
He gives you his opinion, 1. He tells you what your opinion should be, 2. And then he tells you what you said, but you didn't really say. That's 3.
It's the greatest analysis.
Go back on the tape. What did Homer say about LaFleur? Did he say he had a worse season than Jordan Love did? Did he not say that?
Homer, I will talk to you. I will talk to you tonight at 5 o'clock on the Homer Hour. That is Steve the Homer True.
That was fun. Homer, that was one of your better ones today.
He's gone.
He's already gone.
He's in his Lincoln, just cruising down.
And the
what
beauty
street
of
is
his
he
Lincoln
cruising down at Tosa
is on his way to
by
Ted's.
Teddy's.
He can plug in his iPhone and listen to the ESPN Wisconsin app. It is all new. It's your state, your teams, your ESPN, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows are all at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app, available both in the Apple and Android app stores. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Boston Red Sox.
Big turn at first. He's going to try for 2. Here's the throw. It's late. Oh, hustle double for Joey Ortiz.
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. And you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was great then, and it's great making new memories with my family now. Between basketball and baseball and hockey, there is a big game on just about every night this time of the year. And Pizza Hut is the perfect addition to your game day viewing experience. Whether it's a night in on your own or you're having the whole crew over to watch it all together, stock up with some original stuffed crust pizza, wings with your favorite flavor sauces, or a bunch of other delicious options that Pizza Hut has to offer. And right now, Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites, complete with 3 bold new dips in the Ranch Lover's Flight. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Their Memorial Day sale has been extended. Last chance to save 10% off store-wide and take advantage of Steinhoffels' 18-month 0% financing only at Steinhoffels.
In for Pablo Iglesias, I'm Jesse Nelson, ranking all 136 FBS quarterback situations into tiers ahead of the 2025 season. That's the title of an article by ESPN college football writer David Hale. Tier 1, top of the class. No Wisconsin there, and in fact, they're not listed in tiers 2 through 14 either. All the way down in tier 15, categorized as We Used to Be Somebody, is where we find the Badgers with starter Billy Edwards Jr. and backup Danny O'Neill.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV.
Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Look, we all know that as we age, our bodies change, but Carbon World Health can help. They have a process of testosterone replacement therapy that includes a diagnostic exam and blood tests to assess your hormone levels to make sure that they are optimal for you, not optimal for your age. Carbon World Health can help you increase your energy, focus, and overall health with their approach to hormone therapy. It's all about quality of life for you. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
The ESPN Madison Open presented by Coors Light is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. The ESPN Madison Open is also brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Starion Bank, Celebrations Entertainment, The Bogey Factory, Bruner Realty, and Hush Blackwell.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Boston Red Sox.
Big turn at first. He's going to try for two. Here's the throw. It's late. Aha! Hustle double for Joey Ortiz.
Today on 100.5 ESPN.
Thanks as always to Uncle Homer. That was fun. Especially when you two get after each other. That's always entertaining.
Wow.
It's also
you can't say that Matt LaFleur had a brutal season, which is in essence what he said. And I tried to pin him down, and then he used his old age as a crutch, which I get. I use my memory. I understand that. But anyone that was listening to that, he just said Jordan Love had a tough year. He gave him a C- or a C. And he said LaFleur was worse than Love. That makes me think he had a really bad year. Is that me putting words in his mouth?
No, you're using you're using logic.
And by the way, Matt LaFleur at the end of the season, his offense in that Philadelphia playoff game and in the Bear game, which was choppy, stunk.
Yeah,
it was
sloppy.
Garbanzo.
His own words.
It was garbanzo. You watched that Philly game, you would have thought he did not. I did. You watched that Philly. You would have thought the '85 Bears were playing against the Packers. In that we couldn't block anybody. Richard Dent and the Fridge and McMichael, all these guys that's what it looked like. They're throwing our guys around, and Jordan Love, they know where to go. And you turn it over 4 times, and you're still down 16-10 in the fourth. It was ugly. And you said it, and at the end of that season, when LaFleur, after 17 weeks of football, got up there and said, we're playing sloppy, I don't know, that was telling to me. And that is part of the reason that I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Green Bay Packers, even though you all try to keep telling me, oh, you never picked the Packers. Check the tape, my friends. Picked Philadelphia.
Checking the
and
tape.
The winner of that game.
Yeah.
And the winner of that game to go win the Super Bowl. And what happened?
If they would have played in Milwaukee, the winner of the game would have gone to the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't. There were none of those qualifiers. Come on.
Life comes at you fast, and that's why Quick Trip is there, because they know that life is busy.
And Quick Trip gets it, whether you're craving that fresh coffee that I love, a tasty bakery treat, grab-and-go meals. Quick Trip is your go-to. Quick Trip has a variety of apps and meals. Right now they got those great boneless wings, hand-breaded, fried to perfection, and they're ready to go. Grab Quick Trip's crispy chicken sandwich, perfect for a quick bite, plus an 8-piece fried chicken meal that feeds your whole crew. And it's Wednesday today, so that's $9.99 for those tenders or bone-in chicken. You know that's not the only deal going on. Kitchen Cravings 5-ounce sirloin beef steaks, 2 for $4. Nature's Touch American cheese singles, 12-ounce packages for $1.99. Nature's Touch milk, just $1.99 a gallon. Fuel your day with Quality Taste. Quick Trip is your one-stop for variety, quality, and fast service. You get gas, the free air, nice, clean restrooms. Quick Trip has you covered on all of it. Download the Quick Rewards app and take advantage of everything that Quick Trip has to offer. Plus, you can order ahead for pickup or go ahead and do curbside delivery. Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch kicks off in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. The Milwaukee Brewers and Boston Red Sox were tied at 1 after 9 innings last night. The Brewers bullpen able to work out of a jam in the top of the 10th. Then Christian Yelich came up with the bases loaded in the bottom of the inning.
Pitch to him. Fly ball deep right. It's going to win the game. Abreu's going back and watching it sail. It's a grand slam. Oh, my goodness, Christian Yelich. He walks it off in grand fashion.
Josh Mauer on the call on the Brewers Radio Network, as heard here on 100.5 ESPN. The Brewers once again go for their first sweep of the 2025 season this afternoon. Pre-game coverage about 30 minutes away right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Freddie Peralta on the bump for Milwaukee this afternoon. Packers training camp opening day officially set for Wednesday, July 23rd.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Here's a twist. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. It's Jesse and Tausch for the time being. Jason had to step away. He'll be rejoining us at the bottom of the hour. Unfortunately, in Madison, you won't catch him at the bottom of the hour because we'll be joining Brewers baseball. But in Milwaukee and Beaver Dam, the show will continue and Jason will return. While Jason's away, Tausch, we are going to play Wisconsin Geography Wednesday trivia coming up in our next segment, presented by Vortex Golf. So we got to make sure we let everybody know. Are you going to ask questions this time around?
No, on Wednesdays I take off. I
Okay,
don't do,
so
I like to play because I love Wisconsin trivia. I love the geography part of it. I'm really starting to now. I was going through Portage and taking some of these back roads. The cell reception's not great, but it's always fun. You get down different highways. I enjoy that. So, no, I'm going to play along.
All right, good to know. Well, I want you to play along with something here that a lot of our other ESPN Wisconsin shows touched on yesterday. Did you know, Tausch, that yesterday marked 100 days until the start of the 2025 NFL season?
I did know that. Yes, I saw that on Twitter.
A lot of articles. I think everybody had the same idea. 100 things to know about the upcoming season, 100 predictions, 100 whatever it is. So Ben Solak is an NFL writer over at ESPN.com, and he did 100 days to the 2025 NFL season, things to know and predictions, getting us set for the coming season. So there's a couple of good nuggets about the Green Bay Packers, and then there's one not so good nugget about the Green Bay Packers. I'll give you the good first. Under the category 10 names to know for the 2025 season from Ben Solak at ESPN.com, 2 Green Bay Packers names are listed in this category. Any guesses? Or should I just tell you?
Edgerrin Cooper will be one of them, for sure.
He is one of them. Nicely done. The light bulb went on for Cooper last year as he rose from sub-package player to 100% snap starter by season's end. Solak writes, he said some other nice things about Edgerrin Cooper and says expect him to have a big year for the Packers defense this year.
Yeah, I would look at him. I think he has a chance. And, again, he's going into his second year. You know, the light bulb going on, or however you want to phrase it. But there is such a monumental difference in mindset from year 1 to year 2, because you now have a taste of what it takes to do the job. You can train that way. You're not going through the Shrine Bowl and the Combine and where you're going to live and getting an apartment. And it's just all ball. And Edgerrin Cooper, people forget, should have been a first-round pick. There are a lot of teams that have kind of went what Green Bay used to do, was to kind of devalue that off-the-ball linebacker spot. Green Bay saw that, and I am convinced that I don't think people realize how much postseason football will dictate how a team approaches their roster. And I am convinced that Goody had a complete change of heart than what Ted and maybe even Mike Sherman and some of the other guys had as GMs, with just find guys that would collect tackles. I think when you saw what San Fran had with Bowman and Willis, and then Varner and Greenlaw, and then what Tampa had at their middle linebacker play, and how that affected and really took Green Bay Packers playoff teams that should have went and done more, how that impacted it. I think Green Bay looked at this position as we need to get better and more impactful players. That's why they drafted Quay Walker, and that's why they drafted Edgerrin Cooper. And I think Edgerrin Cooper, Quay, everybody is raving about. He got better. He's matured, obviously, from where he was. Edgerrin Cooper has a chance to be that guy that Goody has envisioned when he saw these other players. You hope to see him showing those signs early and often and being impactful, not just a tackle collector.
So you're speaking pretty glowingly about Edgerrin Cooper for this coming season.
Well, how do you not Jesse, I watched the end of the season. He played at a really high level. He started to get it. And some of the mistakes he made and where he was limited with why Jeff Hafley would play him is because he wasn't lining up. He maybe wasn't doing all the little things. And eventually your talent is so good, you're like, we have to live with some of those mistakes and let him grow. They did that, and they started seeing the benefits of that at the end of the season. And I think a big reason why Green Bay's defense gave Philadelphia the most problems of anybody, obviously there's other reasons, but I think Edgerrin Cooper is a huge part of why that defense got that much better as the season kind of finished up.
The other name to know, according to Ben Solak at ESPN.com for the coming season, is Elgton Jenkins, who we certainly know on this team. What do you think of Elgton Jenkins making the switch to center? Ben Solak says that's going to make him a more prominently known offensive lineman around the rest of the country.
I understand where Ben's coming from because there's less centers, but I think people that know ball really knew where Elgton Jenkins was. He has been one of the most versatile and best. That injury slowed his career arc down because he had to miss so much time and then maybe didn't get some of the All-Pro or Pro Bowl nods that I thought he probably should have. But Elton Jenkins has been a really good player for a long time. I don't fully understand. He's going into year 8 or whatever year he's going into.
He's been around a while to be in this category, I thought.
That's why I don't agree with it, and that's why I'm not really that excited about it. I think the Elton Jenkins drama is going to be, when are you going to get his deal done? How is that going to shake out? And hopefully it'll be done and figured out by the time we get to whatever date. What is it, the 23rd of July, when training camp opens up in Green Bay?
So that was the good that both of those guys got, nice shout-outs from Ben Solak in the article saying, these are names you'll want to know this coming season. Meanwhile, there's another category within the article, 10 bold predictions that you shouldn't aggregate unless they end up being correct. I like that.
Why do you like that? Why do you like that? That basically means I have to fill space.
Yeah, he's having fun.
No, bold predictions are fine and fun.
We take them very seriously around here. We all know Boulder-thon every September.
Hear what he had to say.
Ben Solak writes about the Green Bay Packers, the Packers will miss the playoffs. I will read the rest of this for you for context. I think, this is according to Ben Solak, ESPN.com, I think two of the biggest non-negotiables for playoff teams are having a pass rush and a dominant receiver. The Packers definitely don't have the first and still might not have the second, even after drafting Matthew Golden in round 1. They were plus 12 in turnover differential last season, which ranked 3rd in the NFL, but that tends not to be a sticky number. I'm also looking at the plus 24 Bills with supreme suspicion. That's what Ben Solak writes. So he thinks the Packers got a little lucky last year being plus 12 turnover differential, and that with not having a true number 1 wide receiver and not having a dominant pass rush, they are not primed to have a successful 2025 season.
Yeah, what that tells me is Ben Solak doesn't believe in Jordan Love. That's what that tells me. I don't know why I don't think he's a local guy, right? He's a national guy.
He is a national writer, yes.
So I don't fully understand why. Just come out and say it, Ben. If you don't think Green Bay is going to be a playoff team, it's because you don't believe in Jordan Love. Period, fin. All of the other stuff, he was hurt, didn't have a great year, but had still a pretty good year last year. Yes, the turnover margin, that is something that I think it's really hard to replicate year in and year out. That's why the Bears, with all of their struggles at quarterback, they always forced, and when they had their big years, they just got good and he got rolling with creating turnovers. That is more, I can understand Ben's point on that. But let's not kid ourselves here. You can make all these excuses. If you believe in the team's quarterback, you will, in a league now where 7 teams make a playoff, you're not going to say, well, if you believe in that quarterback, you're going to say they're going to at least make the playoffs. And you can make excuses, they're pass rush and all this other stuff. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not putting Jordan Love in that category. And by the way, you can have that take, but then stand on it and say that more so than anything else. And I think that's where you don't have a number 1 wideout. Did Josh Allen have a number 1 wideout last year? No, they didn't. You can make an argument, did Patrick Mahomes have a number 1 wideout last year? No, not really. He didn't. So Green Bay's wide receiving core obviously has to get better. But if you believe in Jordan Love, you're going to believe that the Green Bay Packers, at worst, are going to make the playoffs. At best, you're going to have a shot at doing some things when it comes to postseason football.
Ben Solak might have some people dreaming fearfully. Of course, that's not what we like to say when it comes to American Family Insurance, Tausch.
Oh, I need American Family Insurance. Proud partner of Wilde and Tausch from the jump, and for almost 100 years, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. Also that you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
The time has come for Wilde and Tausch Trivia on a Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Wilde and Tausch Trivia is presented by Vortex Golf, rangefinders you can bet on. Caller 15 for Wilde and Tausch Trivia right now at 844-770-3776. Today's questions, Tausch, are courtesy of Up North Joe, who we spent quite a bit of time with over the weekend, and there's a theme to today's questions. I'm going to leave that a secret until we get trivia underway. But Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, and then a theme within that category from Up North Joe's trivia questions that he's provided for us today. Caller 15, 844-770-3776. Caller 15 for Wilde and Tausch trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. We will play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The keys of a new Audi are in reach at Audi Madison. Save $3,000 on a new 2025. Choose from the A3 sedan, Q540, Q545, or the Q545 Sportsback, and even the Q755 SUV. National customer credit is good towards the purchase, finance, or lease of a new Audi, but is only available until June 2nd. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Zimbrick Honda and ESPN Medicine present the Game Changers of the Month, recognizing the area's best high school sports stories about those who make a positive impact in their community. Here's Pablo Iglesias with Zimbrick Honda's Game Changers of the Month.
Pablo Iglesias here at Middleton High School for the Zimbrick Honda Game Changers of the Month, and we're recognizing 2 schools who are bitter rivals, but Middleton and Sun Prairie East are putting their differences aside for a cause greater than them. This is the Cardinals Striking Out Cancer event, where over $200,000 has collectively been raised over the years for a great cause. We talk with the coaches and so many more for this great event in the Madison area.
We've raised an enormous amount of money for the American Family Children's Hospital, and that goes to speak to it. We have people just today walking around the building that putting their kids through school, and they're like, hey, thanks for sending out the link to donate. I'm happy I could help make a difference, and I'm happy that you guys are putting this on. It's important, and it's important work because everyone's affected, whether you're ready for it or not. It does affect people.
Follow ESPN Madison on YouTube to see the full interview with the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits. Only one way to do cocktail night right, and that's with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Strofe. For 4 years now, I've been telling you the only way I do cocktail night right at the Strofe household, and that is with my friends at Door County Distillery. Whether it's a bourbon on the rocks, an old-fashioned made with their cherry brandy infused with Door County cherries, or something like a rum punch with the weather getting warm, it's always Door County Distillery. Find it wherever local spirits are sold, or visit doorcountydistillery.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Wilde and Tausch back with you. Obviously, no Jason Wilde for the time being. He will return next segment. For those of you who are still with us, a couple of housekeeping notes before we play Wilde and Tausch trivia. So the video stream is going to conclude after this segment on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Video stream is going to conclude because of how we're set up here for the final two segments of the show with our Madison station, 100.5 ESPN, carrying the Milwaukee Brewers game. So just want to make sure everybody knows that. The show will continue on the ESPN Wisconsin app and also on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam coming up next. It is time for Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf Rangefinders. You can bet on, and today's contestant is Mason in Madison. Mason, welcome to Wilde and Tausch. Sorry you don't get the full effect with Jason stepping away for these segments. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We are well. How well do you know your Wisconsin geography?
I feel like I know it pretty well. Lived in the state my whole life, so we'll see. We'll give her a go.
All right. Well, let's go. From my buddy up north Joe, who we saw over the weekend as we hung out over Memorial Day weekend, here is today's Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. Question number 1. A 650-mile-long escarpment is visible in many locations in Wisconsin, such as the massive limestone cliffs in Door County. The escarpment is named for which iconic waterfall located in upstate New York? Is it Niagara Falls, Havasu Falls, or You Lost Me at Escarpment?
That's good. That was good.
That's good. I'm going to go Niagara.
Niagara Falls is the guess. Tausch?
I would agree.
You are correct.
Circle gets the square.
Niagara Falls is correct. Question number 2, Mason. Latitudinally. Which of these Wisconsin waterfalls is located farthest north? The theme is waterfalls, if you couldn't figure it out. Well, latitudinally, which of these Wisconsin waterfalls is located farthest north? Copper Falls in Mellon, Dave's Falls in Amberg, or Willow Falls in Hudson?
Hudson, I know that's up there, so that's my guess, Hudson.
Mason guesses Hudson. Tausch?
I'm going to say Copper Falls on this one.
One of you is right. And unfortunately for Mason, it's not him.
Ooh.
Copper Falls in Mellon, all the way up almost near Superior. Very far north in the state. Amberg's up near the Crivets area, and Hudson.
Duluth.
Yeah, Hudson's actually
good whitewater rafting up there at Crivets. Told you that many times. Good whitewater rafting.
You have said that. I have seen it. Question 3, chance to bounce back. Mason and Madison, Wilde and Tausch Trivia. According to Travel Wisconsin, which county is known as Wisconsin's waterfall capital?
Ooh.
I should know this. My wife works for them.
Oh, boy. Is it Marinette, Marinette County, Rusk County, or Vilas County? Marinette, Rusk, or Vilas?
Man, I'm going to... Rusk. No, wait. Marinette. Wait. No, Rusk.
What are you going with?
We're going Rusk.
I was going to say, I definitely didn't think it was Vilas. I thought it was
I didn't either.
Yep.
There's too many lakes up there.
Yep, it is Marinette.
Yep.
Marinette County.
Marinette?
Yeah.
Marinette is the waterfall capital of Wisconsin?
That's what they say.
saying?
According to Travel Wisconsin, that is the case.
How many waterfalls are up in Marinette?
A lot. I could look into that for you. There's a lot of them. We did a waterfall tour up in that area because that's where we go up north to hang out. So, Mason, unfortunately, we're up against it here, but you do have 2 of the possible 4 entries for the Vortex swag bag and rangefinder in our drawing on Friday. Thanks for playing, and good luck to you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
Mason in Madison, today's trivia contestant. Tausch, tell us about UW Credit Union.
For every stage of life, waterfall stage, lake stage, UW Credit Union is here forever you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, why did you join UW Credit Union? Is to keep your banking local? Yep. Is it the member first service? Absolutely. Or is it great perks like early payday? All of that. But honestly, I just love Bucky. Who can say no to that pretty little face? And if you love Wisconsin, like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. FanDuel will make you do crazy things, but man, this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today and get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
The show ends in Madison. Brewers baseball trying to sweep the Red Sox. Coming up next in Madison, Milwaukee and Beaver Dam. Jason Reed joins us. And Whoa Nelly, where I think we're going to fix college football, is coming up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, with the end of the postseasons for basketball and hockey now in sight, preparations for summer travel are ramping up. And whether that means weekend travel for sports around the state or big vacation plans driving around the country, make sure your vehicle is ready for every challenge by checking in with the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Tune-ups, battery checks, oil changes, and tire rotations are all part of the regular maintenance your vehicle may need to avoid any issues that could be road trip ruiners. A stop to see the service team at Zimbrick Chevy before you go means more focusing on things to see and places to eat, and less worrying about the inner workings of your vehicle. Call or click to schedule a service appointment before your summer road trip with the great team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Check them out online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.